the good.
Presidential candidates come, they tell us their thoughts, they tell us their vision, we buy into it. We must always hold everybody accountable.
The bad.
The national cake is baked, and in the baking, nobody cares about the processes. But once it's ready, even those that were spectators land on the table, not with knives, but with pangas.
And the plain hard truth.
Coming to the national level, I look at the people we have there. We know them. We have seen them. There is no fresh blood. They are the same old people. And so it is for Kenya to sit back and ask themselves, do we really need to have a change, or are we going to just limit ourselves to these choices? In this country, tribe is key. Number two, finances. Those two, sometimes nobody buys into your party or your vision for anything else.
This is the Jacque Maribe Show.
Welcome to the program. Now we're in Nyeri County, and today we're speaking to the Nyeri Governor, Mutahi Kahiga. Thank you so much for being on the show and welcoming us to the county.
Thank you, and karibu sana.
Asante sana. Let's start off with Nyeri and how it has been going on for you. Of course, a position that you particularly did not vie for yourself, but under the law found yourself in. How has that been for you?
Thank you, Jackie. It's been a journey. Yes, like you rightly say, I was just thrust into it. I was a dedicated deputy governor all along, and I was with my boss for 3 months before the tragic accident happened, and we lost the governor one morning. And so there I was. I do remember I learned that I was governor when I was in the hospital, in Thika level 5 hospital. And I was there with the former governor of Kiambu, Baba Yao, and I was with Mwangi Wairia because he had arrived before me. And so there we were. I had just viewed the body. And so they told me, now kindly make decisions. I said, what decisions am I making? They said, you are now the governor of Nyeri. Kindly tell us what is next. I said, gentlemen, what are you talking about? That's not what the law says. They said, yes, that's what the law says. Unfortunately, I had all along thought previously that we were going to have about 60 days of a caretaker government where I was going to just be acting for some time, and then we would have an election or a by-election. That is actually what I thought. But they told me, no, that is not the way things are. The law says you immediately take over. I said, okay. So what? I said, okay, you understand my dilemma. So what should we do? And the first decision I made was, yes, let's take his body to Lee Funeral. And from there, it's been 4 years. It was initially, nobody believed in me, not Nyeri, not the people, not the cabinet, nobody. I was alone, actually. I was just there, and I could listen and see. People would make very uncivil remarks about, and they would say, Mwalimu hawezi fanya chochote, we need a by-election, we need what and that. And I said, okay. But somehow I believed the short time I had been with Wahome, we were focused on a number of issues. And so I said, okay, the first thing I did was reappoint the entire cabinet, just the way they were. I kept the same staff. I kept his PA, his personal assistant, I kept the chief. Actually, I said, this was our government, let's move on. So it's been an exciting journey, ups and downs. You trip here, but now we've learned the ropes. And I can tell you, when we took over Nyeri, it was at number 47, very, very sadly. But today, we are ranking among the best counties in terms of the World Bank ranking. We are at position 1, joint position 1 with, I think, Elgeyo Marakwet and Nyandarua here. And that has been a journey. But the first thing, it wasn't easy. I must say it wasn't easy, but I thank God we are where we are and we've achieved what we've achieved.
All right. Of course, you know, the circumstances leading to you holding the position now, as you say, you had a number of vision issues that you wanted to achieve with the later, your predecessor. How has that been in as far as fulfilling what you had set out to do together versus your personal vision for Nyeri County as Mutahi Kahiga himself?
Somewhere along the line, you know, it's really, let me put it this way. Dr. Wahome Gakuru did not have his vision on paper. If it was never brought to my attention for all along. And I do remember a number of times asking, where is our manifesto? But as we talked, we had key issues we discussed, and key issues we felt we needed to address in terms of Nyeri. The first one, Nyeri was rotting in corruption. Nyeri was being milked dry. And one of the things we had said was that we needed accountability, transparency, and development. Those three were our rallying call as we went vying for the position, as we sought votes. That's what we were telling our people, that once we get to office, we are going to make sure that the Kenya shilling meant for Nyeri would go to the people of Nyeri. It would be protected. We would ensure that there would be no theft. We would not bleed this county, and we would ensure things were moving. We also said that we wanted to have equal development in every corner of this county. And of course, as we achieved all that, we believed that we would be a transparent and an accountable government. We had said that we would never hire any of our relatives to be in our government as a first step. That is something we have kept to. He told me about we would not hire his brothers, we would not hire my brothers, and we had agreed. And up to today, none of us, none of our relatives, none of our friends is doing business with us.
There are no relatives at all?
I can tell you, you can check. You can check and go around and say, who is a relative to the governor of Nyeri that is working in Nyeri? If I found any that was working, is someone I didn't know. But I can tell you, I have never seen one day hired somebody because he's a relative. We stuck to that. We have managed to do things in the right way. We've stemmed the corruption that was there. Today we have won a number of accolades. One of them is that Nyeri has been voted now twice the best county in terms of procurement, following procurement laws. And we have been hitting a minimum of 75%. That is done by PPOA, that is a public procurement authority. And that says we've been doing things right. We've stopped nepotism, where I will say, Jackie, because I know you and you are a cousin or the cousin of my mother's grandmother's uncle, let them give you a job. We don't do that. We let everything run as it should. And people are sometimes surprised when they come and say, tell me, oh, you know, Governor, help me. I say, I can't help you. You help yourself. Just go through the procurement process. Yeah, just do it. If you get it, it's okay. Yeah. And I want to really appreciate my staff because they bought into our vision. And I can tell you in Nyeri, I have had a number of people who come and say, Governor, I just want to thank you. I came to this county, I applied for a job, nobody knew me, I got the job, I was given the job, I did it, I was paid, nobody asked me for money, and here I am. And you know, that's the way it should be. We felt like, I would say with Wahome, that was our key. On development, we decided, instead of now sitting down and where the law says that I, as the executive, should make decisions in terms of what we want to do. Yes, but I said I want to share out some of this power with the representatives from the wards. Nyeri has 30 wards. They are called MCAs, Waheshimiwa MCAs. And I have sat with them in all my 4 years. The budget making process, we make the budgets together. We focus on the ward where we allocate every ward an equal amount of money. And then you can go, the MCA and his people can select the projects that they want done in their ward within that range of the budget allocation. So we do that, and we've done beautifully. That is why you find that in every corner of Nyeri you go, you will find something that is being done by the county government. This has also gone a long way in removing that suspicion that was between the executive and the legislature, where they would not pass budgets, they would impeach the governor. Remember, the first governor was impeached. Today, they have no reason because everything is done overboard. They are involved in the process, and it is them that defend the government out there. That does not mean that the oversight role has been taken over, because they raise the issues, especially where the executive has not done as it should. And when I mean executive, I mean my cabinet, because if we have a system in county governments where we have 10 departments that are run by CECs or county executive committee members, so or the ministers for that matter. And so we've moved on well. There are a number of things we've done also, especially in agriculture, which was our focus. We've been able to change the thinking of the people of Nyeri from the coffee tea story of long ago. They are now doing avocado. You can even see behind you that I have an avocado tree. It tells you a lot about, we introduced this and have spent close to almost 100 million now within the county, and they are busy now harvesting and selling. We haven't reached where we would want, but they are doing it. When we look at the issue of fish farming, we've introduced fish farming in Nyeri, and it's now massive. We are not yet where we want to be, but today you will walk into a home and they will offer you fish, because they have a pay. We have done, initially we did about 225 ponds, and we did the liners, we gave them the fish, the feed, and it's doing very, very well. So that's an area we have focused on. We are working towards improvement of our dairy breeds, providing, we have 23 cooperative societies dealing in dairy. We have given them all milk coolers with a focus that we will soon be supporting. We are supporting two milk processing plants, Mukuroine Dairy, which the other day we gave about 20 million. We have another one, Kenny Dairy, which we gave about 10 million, so that they can get to the next level of value addition. So we are doing quite a lot in terms of infrastructure, and you know, infrastructure really drives the economy. We've done so many roads within Nyeri County. I am sure now we are almost at 1,000 kilometers of maraming of roads. We've done tarmacking about 15 to 20 kilometers within the major town centers. That's an area we're doing. Among our flagship projects right now, we are doing a new level 4 hospital in Narumoro. We are also doing a new bus stage in Nyeri. Maybe you could pass by there. It's on 6 acres. It's a huge investment which is going to hold about 1,000 shopping stalls, some hotels, because our town is really a little bit congested, and it has a story. It was, the other government had converted that playground, which is about 6 acres, into a dump site. We converted from a dump site to something you can see today. That's some of what we are doing.
All right, let's talk about revenue allocation, because it's an ongoing debate that never ends. From where you sit as a governor with the current 15%, and of course, you know, there's a national debate as to whether to increase that ceiling. From where you sit as a governor, is the 15% working? Is there a need to increase it as at now? What's happening there from where you sit as a governor?
Oh, let's start by saying that, you know, the National Treasury should follow the law. No function should be devolved without requisite funds being devolved to. One of the cases we have is health. Health is a fully devolved function. But you were shocked that very little money trickles down and a lot of money is left at national government. At the MOH, you ask to do what? Because health is fully devolved. Agriculture is fully devolved. But The funds that are left, you can see Waziri Munya going around everywhere. We had Mwangi Kionjore, Mheshimiwa Mwangi Kionjore, who would go around giving avocados. You know, really a job that should be done by the counties. When you look at water is also devolved. But look at Sicily walking around. She's Waziri Sicily is the one doing what should be done by counties. So let's start by saying this. Even let National Treasury look at devolved functions and give the devolved functions the requisite funds. Let's stop having a situation where money is left where it is not needed or where the law doesn't allow. Having said that, it is the responsibility of counties to ensure that the funds they get are spent for the benefit of the people. That one I will say, it doesn't matter whether they devolve 100%, whether they devolve 2%. If you are not going to run transparent, accountable governments, then devolution will not work. But it's upon us as governors and our governments to ensure that we are getting value for money, for Wanjiko. Yes, it is, we would do better with, ask me, 30-40%. And then we should also, like, we think that BBI was going to address some of these things where there is so much inequality. You would need to convince my mother, why would Nyeri, a county that is full of hard-working people who are growing tree, they are growing coffee, they are doing avocado, they are running their own businesses, they are generating revenue, but we can only get 5.4 billion because of some skewed formulas that are being used and are being used to kind of stifle the development of other places. We had a president who would say, farasi lazima mngoje punda. But really, why would we in this time and season be using such skewed, like when you talk about land as, the size of a county as one of the reasons, one of the key factors that we should look into in terms of provision of services. You cannot provide services to expansive land with trees and no people. So really we should be asking ourselves, is population the key, or are we going to use land size and land mass? Because the more people, the more the services you need. That is one area. So to answer your question, yes, we could do with more money. But even as we do with more money, let us also try to create equity within the county. And I'll give an example. Today we have something they call an equalization fund that is meant to be given to those counties that are poor. I have always never understood the meaning of the word poor, because poor is a choice. Sometimes it is really a choice. You cannot assume. Nyeri as a county, 52% of Nyeri County is arid and semi-arid area. The entire Kenya, 52%. But people will never see that. Those that are never well-meaning will always see Nyeri in terms of the green areas, which is 48%. And in this country, we have always never considered the inputs. We always look at the output. I'll give when we talk about the national cake is baked. And in the baking, nobody cares about the processes. But once it's ready, even those that were spectators land on the table, not with knives, but with pangas to share out this national cake. And therefore, it is time we as a country address those issues and said, what's the input? Do we need to continue punishing people because they are hard workers? Because they can work hard and generate their own revenue, does that mean that we should deny them the money? And then some other guys who will give an excuse that they live in a very hot area or there is very little rain, and they are there and they will just wait for handouts. This is something that is not right. We need to ensure that one man, one shilling, and one vote is really put in place. So that would be my opinion.
On that note, let's talk matters BBI, and of course it's the current national conversation and the Court of Appeal decision. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, looking at it from, like I'm saying, I really was focusing on getting more money for this county, trying to look for equity. I really didn't care who was president, who was going to be prime minister, how many. All those things may not matter to Wanjiku. They might pacify some political forces, but the key was I really wanted that 35% to come to this county. Now that we've lost it, because the judicial process has really gone in a different way, mine would be to say that I think it's time to go back to the drawing board and refocus. We have spent so much energy, so much resources in terms of the BBI, but that doesn't mean, like the Waswahili say, kuvunjika kwa mwiko sio mwisho wa kupika ugali. I think we should focus now and focus on the future. Here we have a president who has less than 1 year to go. Let him focus now on his legacy. If we can reignite the Big Four and many other programs that were ongoing, let's focus. Let's stop crying over spilled milk, because I really don't want to see who has lost and who has won. That is, if we allow ourselves to fall into the political play, then we will lose it all. Remember, every time an election approaches, we end up losing almost a year. Just politicking, making noise, and we will ground things. So for me, I think the BBI has reached a dead end. Let's progress and move on.
Move on. Yeah. All right. I want to single out Nyeri County as an example to other counties across the country, in as far as the thinking or mindset of the electorate is concerned. Now, we've seen in the previous election that, you know, the way the electorate went, almost everybody went home. And the electorate felt that it was time for change. How would then this be, you know, or what would you advise other counties in as far as, you know, we're in a political season? Is it time for a fresh, you know, a fresh breath of air for other counties as well? Would we say we are in a place as a country where we keep recycling our leaders? Is it helping us move forward, or is it time for a new national conversation, Governor?
That's a little bit tricky, but I will say this. Nyeri made a statement. In 2017, they made a clear statement that we did elect you in 2013. We gave you a mandate. We gave you a responsibility. All of you did not achieve that mandate. Instead of working together for the harmony of this county and ensuring that this county got development and got its share of its own revenue and was able to progress, you as collectively started fighting. The governor was fighting with the MCAs. The MCAs were impeaching the governors. The MPs joined in the battle. They were kicking out the governor. There was total mess. And the people of Nyeri said, okay, we gave you that opportunity. You have messed it up. You did not achieve what we sent you to do. In other words, you've let us down. And therefore, there is only one way about it. Let's send you home. And I can tell you, out of 30 elected MCAs, 28 were sent home. They did not even go beyond the nominations. The MPs, out of 7 MPs plus the woman rep, they were all sent home and one survived, but through the nick of his skin. They got to the senator, sent him home, and everybody. And so that was the message. And everybody in Nyeri understood. And that is why there has been a very peaceful second term for us. Very peaceful, because I keep reminding my MCAs, gentlemen, remember me, I don't want to fight. I need another term and I want to work with the people of Nyeri. The MPs, we have had peace, we have had good working relationships. We have ensured that we do not irritate the electorate. And what does that one tell us? As a country, we set out, presidential candidates come, they tell us their thoughts, they tell us their vision, we buy into it. We must always hold everybody accountable. And once we do hold you accountable for what you did promise, and you've not met it, then there are no two ways about it. Coming to the national level, I look at the people we have there. We know them. We have seen them. There is no fresh blood. They are the same old people. And so it is for Kenya to sit back and ask themselves, do we really need to have a change, or are we going to just limit ourselves to these choices? There could be very good presidents. And why do I say that? There could be very good presidents for this nation who have not yet come up because of many reasons. In this country, tribe is key. Number two, finances. Those two, sometimes nobody buys into your party or your vision for anything else. And therefore, as Mount Kenya, we find ourselves in very odd circumstances where we do not have a front runner, but we do have a president, a sitting president, who is exiting. And it looks like we are stuck in between there. And that is why now Mount Kenya is simply moving in waves. It doesn't seem to understand really, because sometimes you hear they are in this direction, they are in that direction. But at the end of the day, I know we will speak in one voice, their efforts. But at the national level, I'll tell Kenyans, you have an opportunity. Look at the choices you have and make the best choice, because you're going to live with that choice for 5 years. You know your aspirations. You know what you aspire for in this nation. Focus on it, and who would best deliver. Remember, don't be carried away by political promises. We promise a lot. But there are a few leaders in this country who have been tried, tested, and proven. Why not go for that? Because it's pointless to, just rely on what Jacque Maribe tells me. She tells me what she'll do, and I buy into it. But you want to find out the truth, talk to many people who are in marriages. They were promised heaven, but when they got there, they found it was not true. Exactly. Mambo kwa ground different. Even in this politics, let us ask ourselves, do we really want to just buy into we have the bottoms up, we have had the, economic model, we have had Musalia talking about the economy and everybody. It's time for us to put everyone and judge them by action. Here in Nyeri we say, a chameleon can change color, but can never change its manners. So there you are. You make your decision as Kenyans. I have a single vote, and I keep telling everybody that Mutahi Kahiga may not be the best person to choose a presidential candidate for Nyeri. Let my people be free to listen, to analyze, to weigh the options, and then make a choice. Yeah, very, very informed decision. And I will be with them where they go. Yeah, because I need their vote.
Their vote as well. All right. Governor, we are at a time where you and your colleagues come together in devolution conferences and take stock of where you are, where you have been, and where we're going. What can we expect to see being different from this year moving forward in the wake of a pandemic that has of course ravaged the globe, situations that are facing many, particularly to do with the economy and financial circumstances? What new thing can we expect to see?
First and foremost, it's not all gloom. We are not where we were in March last year. I can tell you, let me speak about Nyeri County. In March last year, we had no capacity to fight COVID. I can tell you that. We had, the entire county had, I think, close to only 19 ICU beds. We did not have enough oxygen. we were poorly equipped. Our people were not well trained. But 1 year down the line, and a few more months, as we stand, Karatina, this county level 4 hospital, Nyeri level 5 hospital, Mount Kenya level 4 hospital, they all have new and working oxygen plants that are able to provide oxygen that we couldn't have provided a few months ago. Our nurses have undergone thorough training. We have, because in the wake of this pandemic, put money into health. We have focused really on improving our ability in the medical field. I have just told you that we are putting up now as we speak. It's fully built, it's almost complete. Then we go to the issue of equipping the hospital, a new level 4 hospital that we didn't have. And so, despite the gloom, despite the loss of life, despite the disruption in our lives and in our economy, Nyeri has still progressed. And Kenya too has progressed, because what I'm speaking about has been replicated in many other hospitals, in many other counties. The governors themselves, at Council of Governors, we focused on protecting our people, because clearly this is a devolved function. We have been able to improve our capacities and our capabilities and even our personnel. That is one of the one of the quick wins that we have taken home. But we must also say that, yes, looking back 9 years after devolution, all of us can see something tangible. It tells us that devolution is working. Yes, it comes with its own challenges. A number of us have been taken to court over, corruption and many other things. But let us not judge the entire Council of Governors because one or two individuals have fallen astray. We must admit that now we are better off than we were. The things we've been able to do in Nyeri, build bridges, build new classrooms, build new workshops, build new hospitals, improve on our infrastructure, are unprecedented. We would have waited for years before national government would have come our way. We are not saying national government has not done well, but the two have combined to make the lives of citizens much better. So going ahead, we are committed as a Council of Governors to ensure that devolution is protected, because we know it is under threat at all times, especially where we are in a situation where governments are competing. Remember, we have 48 governments. One is the national government and we have the 47. But because of politics, we tend to be seen as if we are politicking and we are competing. Where an MP will be talking of a road that has been done in a county by the national government, but call it their own road, because we need the votes. And then you may hear some of our officers also moving in that kind of direction. Like I'll tell you, the level 4 hospital that we've done in Narumoro, Kieni East, that did not have, 3 sub-counties did not have level 4 hospitals. That was Kieni East, Kieni West, and Teto. We have managed to do one in Kieni East. God willing, if we can progress, we'll do one in the rest of the 2. But you will hear an MP say that this is a government, this is a national government project, simply because they would want political capital. While on the ground, wananchi know that this one has been done by the county government. That is one of the challenges we have to keep. But at the end of the day, Wanjiko doesn't care who does what. All they want is service. So let us focus on rendering service to our people. And I keep reminding people that the people of Kenya are not stupid. They will make informed choices. That's the way to go.
That's the way to go. There's the illusion that for a number of those in the political class, that the governorship is far sweeter than, you know, these other positions on the ballot paper. Your advice, because you have gone through it, a number of them would want to, maybe they have served as MPs or in other positions or as senators, but angle the governorship because it's in a sana. That's where, you know, the power is and the money is. Is this the position, or are they setting themselves up for a mandate that they would not probably be?
Maybe I should start by saying I do not think that perception is correct. We are all voted in to serve. We serve at different capacities. An MCA serves a ward. An MP serves a constituency. A governor serves a county. A senator serves a county, and a woman rep serves a county. The difference is in the mandates that they have been given. While I'm expected to run a government, an MP doesn't run a government. An MCA doesn't run a government. Our salaries are the same, if you didn't know. The governor's salaries, the MP's salaries, the senator's salary, and the woman rep's salary. They are all equal, 924,000 Kenya shillings before tax. The only difference now is that an MP, a governor gets a vehicle, a government vehicle like that. I have one there, a government vehicle. You get security, a hold of security, and there you are, and you have a deputy, and you can run, and you make decisions at that level. And you are talking of that budget that has been allocated to you. A senator doesn't have any money, so they may, you know, no money is allocated to the senatorship that can do anything in a county. An MP has 120 million to run around that. So if you're talking about how much resources you control, yes, but look also at the magnitude of the expectations of the people. So, yes, I know many of them are angling to be governors because of they think that there is power, there is all that. But as far as I'm concerned, it's a perception. If you see it as a position to come and serve, it's a position to come and improve the lives of your people. If you see it in that kind of way, yes, that's the way to go. But if you see it as an enriching position, as a position to come and lord over others, it's a position to, you know, like I hear sometimes we like to drive around the towns with sirens on, disrupting the lives of people. That's not the way it should be. That's not my perception anyway. But that's exactly not how it should be. And so, you know, maybe before COVID, I think I was the only governor in Kenya who opened their office on Tuesday for wananchi to come. Every Tuesday, I would see close to 200 people. From morning to evening, they would come to my office. They would tell me their problems. We would solve what we could, but when COVID came, we had to go down because of that. But that tells you what I understand about this position. It's about service to the people. It's not about service to myself or to my family. It's about serving the people of Nyeri.
And that's where probably most people get it wrong then. Governor, as we wind up, what next for Mutahi Kahiga? Because 2022, you know, is beckoning. What are we seeing moving forward? Going back to the ballot for governorship, or what's the plan?
Definitely. Maybe it's good, Jacque, you know that I was elected as a deputy governor. I've never really gone out to be elected and I keep reminding the people of Nyeri, I somehow by default ended up being a governor. I know I have performed in the very best way I can. I've tried my level best to do what I thought was right and to listen to the people of Nyeri. As I struggle for my now re-election or election, first election as a governor, I want them to focus on what we have done, how we have done it, and our promises in them going into the future. And they can judge whether we will be able to achieve what we are saying by looking at what we have done. And I know, and I'm convinced beyond reasonable doubt, that the people of Nyeri know that their governor, Mutahi Kahiga, has done a good job. He has been available for them. He has not stolen a cent from their coffers and has ensured that Nyeri has progressed 4 years down the line, we are a much better county, we are better placed, and we have done even better than we really thought we would. And so for me, it's just to plead with them that as we get into the next phase, which is around next year, let them not forget what we have done. Let us walk this journey together. 5 more years for Mutahi Kahiga will be 5 more years of progress for Nyeri, and we will ensure that we scale the heights together. Yes.
Absolutely. You've been on both sides as deputy governor and now governor, but there's this feeling by, you know, a section of Kenyans that the voices of deputy governors are not really heard. They are not really seen, you know, to be out there. Your take and your advice to deputy governors out there, and of course now you got to, you know, be governor. Should they do more? What exactly is the problem, or where is the broken chain there?
That's a problem, and it's all in the law. Because unless a governor goes out of their way to just, you know, allow the deputy governor to do some work, the law just says they will deputize. Now, unfortunately, many of deputy governors are also human, and they have ambitions. And here is a governor. So somewhere along the line, the ambitions clash. But I think it should be entrenched in the law, like it was going to be in the BBI, that deputy governors must have specific roles so that they are able to operate. I do remember when I served as a deputy governor, for the 3 months I was deputy governor, there were clear responsibilities that my governor had allocated me, and I did them well. We've tried them with others; they fail. It's really. I wish it would be entrenched in the law that they are either made CECs in charge of dockets, or they are given specific roles. You know, they can be the deputy governor in charge of public service or something, so that they have something to do, other than just being told they will deputize the governor in his absence or in their absence, because sometimes they may be there all the time. And so now they end up being like flower girls. They have to walk, you know. I do remember even during my time, I would tell my governor, rather than me and you going to a function, why don't you go to the function, let me remain in the office. If there is anything I can handle, I will handle. You know, but in those 3 months, I made sure I never made a decision until I consulted, because I knew I was a deputy governor and I knew what the law allowed me to do. And so that is how they should understand it, and that's how we should focus. So it's important that the roles are clearly stipulated in the law, as opposed to the way it is now, where it says it shall just deputize. Yeah.
All right, Governor, asante sana for having time for us, making the time to be on the show. We wish you all the best, and we will keep an eye on matters Nyeri and the national conversation as we move forward. And of course, lessons that the country can replicate from the county.
Thank you very much, Jacque. It's been my pleasure. Welcome to Nyeri. Lucky you came when there is sun.
The sun is shining.
Nyeri is pretty cold, but karibu sana. Let's focus. And let me just throw in this word. Those that are in the media must understand their responsibility. That you can burn this country, you can build it. Shouldn't we exercise some form of patriotism in terms of how we handle this politics that is coming? Remember, we were here in 2007, 2008. Let's not fall into the same pitfalls where we made statements, we did screaming headlines that really inflamed this country. This is we are in a transition. Let's handle it in the best way we can. Politicians, many of us have no manners, handle us in that kind of way. But at the end of the day, let even the media, let us as politicians, even though we shall be driven by our own personal needs, put the country first. Thank you.
Country first.
Yeah, country.
Asante sana, Governor. Nowadays we namaste.
My name is Mutahi Kahiga, the governor of Nyeri, and you are watching the Jacque Maribe Show.